Between a Rock and a Hard Place by Aaron Ralston. 3 p.m. Good Christ, my hand. The flaring agony throws me into a panic. I yank my arm 3 times in a naive attempt to pull it out from under the rock, but I'm stuck. Oh, crap. I shove against the boulder, heaving against it, pushing it with my left hand, lifting with my knees pressed under the rock. I brace my thighs under the boulder and thrust upward, grunting, "Come on, move!" Nothing. I'm sweating hard. With my left hand, I lift my right shirt sleeve and wipe my forehead. My chest heaves. I need a drink, but sucking on my Camelback hose, I find my water reservoir is empty. I still have my full Nalgene bottle, but it takes me a few seconds to realize I won't be able to sling my pack off my right arm. Once I shrug my left arm free of the pack strap, I expand the right side strap, tuck my head inside the loop, and pull the whole thing down my left side to my feet. Extracting the water bottle, I unscrew the top, and before I realize what I'm doing, gulp 3 large mouthfuls, then halt to pant for breath. Then it hits me. In 5 seconds, I've just guzzled a third of my water supply. Okay, I said out loud. Time to relax. The adrenaline's not going to get you out of here. Let's look at this, see what we've got. I need to start thinking, and to do that, I need to be calm. Poking my left hand into the small gap above the catch point, I touch my right thumb, which is already looking sickly gray. It's cocked sideways and looks terribly unnatural. There is no feeling in my right hand at all. An inner voice explodes at the prognosis. Look at this. Your hand is crushed. It's dying, man, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you don't get some blood flow back within a couple of hours, it's gone. No, I tell myself out loud. Shut up. That's not helpful. It's not my hand I need to worry about. There's a bigger issue. The average survival time in the desert without water is between 2 and 3 days, sometimes as little as a day if you're exerting yourself in 100-degree heat. I figure I've got until Monday night. My next thought is escape, eliminating ideas that are just too dumb, like cracking open my AA batteries on the boulder and hoping the acid eats through the chalk stone, but not my arm. I organize my options in order of preference. Excavate the rock around my hand with my multi-tool knife, rig ropes and an anchor above myself to lift the boulder off my hand, or amputate my arm. 8 p.m., stress turns into pessimism. Without enough water to wait for rescue, without a pick to crack the boulder, without a rigging system to lift it, I have one course of action. I speak slowly out loud. You're going to have to cut off your arm. Hearing the words make my instincts and emotions revolt. My vocal cords tense and my voice changes octaves, but I don't want to cut off my arm. Aaron, you're going to have to cut off your arm. I realize I'm arguing with myself and yield to a half-hearted chuckle. This is crazy, but I know that I could never saw through my arm bones with either of the blades of my multi-tool, so I decide to keep picking away at the boulder. Tick, 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 tick. The sound of my knife tapping is pathetically minute. A breeze is blowing down canyon, flicking sand over the ledge above me and into my face. I bow my head, and the brim of my baseball cap keeps most of the dust out of my eyes, but I can feel the grit on my contacts. Darkness seeps from my perineal hole and spills into the desert. I establish a rhythm, pecking at the rock, 2 jabs per second, pausing to blow dust away once every 5 minutes. Time slips past. Before I know it, it's nearly midnight. Perhaps because of my growing fatigue, a song is playing over and over in my head. Sadly, the melody is from the first Austin Powers movie, which I watched a few nights ago. Just a single line of the ending credits chorus repeating on infinite loop. BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 3, BBC 4, BBC 5, BBC 6, BBC 7, BBC Heaven. Yeah, that's not annoying at all, Aaron. Even if I wanted to sleep, I couldn't. The penetrating chill of the night air urges me to keep attacking the rock to generate warmth. And when my consciousness does fade, my knees buckle and my weight tugs at my wrist in agonizing call to attention. I realize that the best way to conserve my energy is to construct a seat. Getting into my harness is the easy half of the equation. Now comes the hard part. Getting some piece of climbing gear hung up on the rock overhead, something that can hold my weight. My first dozen tries fall short, but then, with brilliantly lucky throw, the carbiner bundle I've rigged hits the wide mouth of the crack, drops into the pinch point, and with a tug at the right moment wedges tight. A wave of happiness washes over me. With 2 adjustments of the knots, I can finally lean back and take some weight off my legs. 15 minutes later, however, my harness begins restricting the blood flow to my legs, and I alternately stand and sit, establishing a pattern that I repeat in 20-minute intervals. In the coldest hours before dawn, I take my knife again and hack at the chalk stone. Just after 8 o'clock, I hear a rushing noise filtering down from above. I look up as a large black raven flies over my head. At the third flap, he screeches a loud caw and then disappears from my window on the world. I can see bright daylight on the north wall 70 feet above. I turn off my headlamp. I've made it through the night. Based on the excerpt above, describe how Aaron had to show both physical and mental determination during his experience. Cite at least one piece of evidence within your response. Use complete sentences.